For the purposes of a farewell speech, the speaker recognizes the Honorable Leader Donna Lasinski.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm choosing to give my final speech from the spot where I gave my first speech, so thank you for indulging me. One of the hardest parts of this service was moving from the seat that Jim Hodsman now holds to a seat where my back is to everything and my eyes are my chief of staff. She has some pretty funny observations to make occasionally. I want to begin to close out my 6 years with gratitude. To my sons, my 3 sons, who are my heart, and my husband, who is my soul, thank you for the love and support you have given me. To my parents on television, I'm hoping that's the camera, Fred and Patricia Kay, you have given me so much. I hope I have returned a small measure of the love you have given me. To Libby McGaughy, Ryan Bardoni, to Emma Heaton and PJ Petiprin, Kira McLaughlin, you have made our office a place of true public service, intelligence, humor, and caring. I am grateful for all of you every day. To Coffee Ann Hawthorne, Danny Wimmer, Greg Hull, and Angela Wheeler, your talents and gifts should never be underestimated by the people of Michigan for the contributions you make every day. To Governor Whitmer, Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist, and Leader Ananick, thank you for your partnership and fierceness on behalf of the people of Michigan. I reordered my entire speech, and so I'm struggling for a moment. And to Rebecca Warren, Kevin Hertel, Terry Sabo, Tyrone Carter, and Angela Whitwer. You are who I learn from and who I lean on every day. To my elected leadership team, Matt Kolazar, Sarah Anthony, Floor Leader Robbie, and to all of my leadership team. It was all of our strengths together that made our caucus so strong. We've had a lot of talk about a very special section on our floor, and I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the experience, the loving, and the giving that I have counted on from Representatives Sneller, Clemente, and Sowerby. And to the ones that we lost, to the months we spent with a black draped desk, to John Kivala, Isaac Robinson, and Andrea Schroeder, we miss you dearly. To Speaker Wentworth, we were at our best when we cared for our members, as we shared our deep caring for our members together and our deep love for the state of Michigan. Thank you for our service together. And to Speaker-elect Tate, who, if I don't look behind me and he's on the phone, I wouldn't know where I was. To Speaker-elect Tate, I could not be prouder to leave our caucus and our chamber under your leadership. And now, for my speech. Hello, I'm Donna Lasinski, the House Democratic leader. It has been an honor to say those words for the last 2 years. It's an honor to stand at this podium and to see my caucus around me. You are my family, and it is a few simple words, House Democratic leader. That is the privilege and the honor that I can't believe you conferred upon me. I would rather win 90,000 votes any day than the votes that are earned for this position, because you know me, you know who I am, and you voted for me anyway. And I thank you for that. Our caucus is historic. It has been my privilege to lead the first female majority caucus since our legislature's first session in 1835. A caucus of 53, thank you, Carol, that has 25 members who identify as black or brown. Who we are matters. Where we come from matters. The most powerful speeches on our floor are often our origin stories, what brought us here. And that matters to every person in Michigan because we are them We look like them. We talk like them, Sarah Cambensi. It matters when we share history with our constituents. I was elected in a competitive general election on the same day as former President Donald Trump. I was elected along with a Republican governor and a Republican majority in the House and Senate. I am leaving this institution in a very different state, with a very different set of incoming leadership voices. I have spent 6 years here at the Capitol proudly representing the 52nd House District, the communities of Dexter, Chelsea, Manchester, Saline, and Whitmore Lake. They don't trickle off my tongue quite as easily as Lathrop Village, Southfield, and the ones that Representative Bolden has mastered over the years. I love my community. They are who taught me what it means to simply be of the community, to go to a bake sale and no one asks if you're a Republican or a Democrat. When you only ask, how can I help? People are always happy to see you. Representing your community and your state here in Lansing is an awesome responsibility. Your voice is their voice. And what I have learned, what I know to my bones from that first day here 6 years ago to today, is that the voice of leadership matters. And every voice in this chamber is a voice of leadership. We are 110 people, and sometimes it feels like, what can I get done? I'm only one of 110 people. We are 110 people in a state of 10 million. Every one of us is a leadership voice. And I am so proud of our caucus. When you're a mother, you think there's not many things you can be more proud of than your children. You guys are right up there with mine. I'm so proud of our caucus. We used our voice. Without the power of the gavel or majority, we stood for Michiganders. We wrote legislation and built coalitions. Some of us are masters at that, David LeGrand. To set in place a vision for Michigan. A vision that includes the promise that one good job should be enough. That we are a state that is open for business and welcomes the innovators, the entrepreneurs, and the job creators. I'm proud to have led a caucus that delivered the majority of votes to help companies create thousands of good-paying union jobs across Michigan that will secure families' futures for generations. We used our voices to speak for children. I began my advocacy career, I don't know that I've said this out loud many times, but I actually began my advocacy career attending a workshop at my local ISD to learn how to write a letter to your legislator. My sons attended a Title I elementary school, and I wanted to write my legislator on behalf of all the children at my kids' schools whose needs weren't being met. I deeply understand that a child who starts behind rarely ends up ahead. And I could not be prouder of the investments in expanded free public preschool in Michigan. That means financial status will no longer determine early success for a child. Combined with historic K-12 funding, we have made progress that will impact generations. We gave brilliant speeches on our American right to vote. We stood together and turned away every attempt to limit access to the ballot. We heard passionate voices in our caucus share deeply personal stories about the meaning of the vote. With my colleagues' permission, our vote is our voice. And if I could borrow another colleague's phrase, Rep. Jones, I'll take you to church. Our vote. Okay, so somebody's got to help me because I'm a white lady standing up here trying to get you to respond like you did. Our vote is our voice. And while I can't make it resonate, as Rep. O'Neill did, nationally, virally, Hopefully it resonated in all our hearts, and it lives in my bones. Thank you for that. We refused to be dragged back several generations in our right to vote. And we stood up for our human rights. The right to bodily autonomy and the right to determine our own futures. We were ready the moment our freedoms were taken, and we demanded together that our rights become enshrined in the state constitution. Representative Pohutsky, thank you. And I want to acknowledge, I feel we must acknowledge that we did all of this while domestic terrorists worked diligently to intimidate us. A few of you have mentioned choosing our seats, and this isn't in my speech, but I reflected on it because we had Rep. Steenland reflect on choosing his seat over Zoom. Let's discuss why we chose our seats over Zoom. It was 7:30 in the morning. I was coming to the Capitol door for one of my very first days. I was excited to be on the House floor. You were all going to be on the House floor. We were going to have an activity, and I reached for the door right outside the Capitol. And I had my bag over my arm. I had the coffee in one hand. I had my phone in the other hand, because let's face it, women's clothes don't have pockets. And as I went to pull the door, my phone made a strange noise, and I looked, and it said there is a credible bomb threat in the Capitol. Do not enter. And I froze. That's not normal. And I stood there and I thought, do I go inside? I know there's police officers right inside. Do I turn around? Do I walk away? Do I run away? Did I just trigger a bomb opening this door? That's not normal. Yet, with all their threats, their assault rifles outside our swinging doors, with their conspiracy theories and the voices from this chamber that supported them and encouraged them, we still created generational change in our chamber. But it's not just the voices that fueled the extremists. It's also the voices that stayed silent as threats grew and hatred spread and democracy teetered. I am so grateful to my caucus for never staying silent, not for a moment. For speaking clearly and passionately for the people of Michigan, for the vision we created together, and the agenda you will move forward so that one good job will be truly enough, so that clean water in homes and rivers and lakes will again be the promise of Michigan, so that every child will learn and thrive in a system of strong public schools, so that your zip code will not determine your future, so that the entrepreneurs and innovators and homegrown Michigan businesses will flourish and grow. My wish, my hope, my prayer is that you wield the gavel with justice for all. Thank you.